every night for months, you have been coming on here and you have been saying the opportunity is now, the opportunity is now, the opportunity is now.
Yeah.
TTG is a business, so we get what it is that's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no. I mean, look, you're obviously not going to say that you don't think that there's an opportunity, but I want a very clear understanding from you, not the thing that we talk about every night, but a very clear understanding from you is, where do you see this opportunity? And there's a second part to this question. How do you justify that opportunity to the person that's down 50% in their 401k or their IRA, right? So
Yeah.
I want to know, how can you tell that person this is the greatest opportunity, the greatest transfer of wealth, when those people are down 50%, whatever percent in their IRA? How do you answer it? Don't dance around it, man. Give a real answer.
Yeah, no, listen, man. You know me. I don't dance around the tough questions. I'm always fully transparent, and I don't sugarcoat anything. I've been saying, and this goes all the way back to the end of last year. The end of last year, I was saying that 2020 was going to be the year of the active trader, right? If you go back and watch any of my live streams from December, you'll hear me continuously say 2020 will be the year of the active trader. And what I mean by that is, an active trader, meaning you are actually going to position yourself to make money when the markets go down. When the markets go down, you are not held prisoner. And a lot of people don't understand that. You do not need to sit there and just have the balance of your 401k or IRA just decrease while you just sit there helpless and hopeless until the markets finally bottom and recover. There are things that you can do where you can profit on the way down. And when markets go down, they go down a lot faster than they go up. There's a saying that bulls take the stairs, and I say bears take the window. Okay. The real saying is bulls take the stairs, bears take the elevator. Okay. But in the sense of, market crashes and everything, I say bulls take the stairs and the bears take the window. They can go down a lot faster than they do go up. And the moves to the downside is where volatility increases. Volatility is the size of the moves that the market and individual stocks make on any given day. So the size of the moves are much bigger than they normally are. So there's a lot of opportunity to be active, whether that means buying put options, shorting stocks, or buying inverse ETFs. I understand some people don't have the ability to short stocks. You can learn how to trade put options. You can learn how to buy inverse ETFs, which are all things that we teach people inside True Trading Group, and all things that we do ourselves. These are all things that we do and that we teach all of our members. That is how you're able to make money while the markets go down. Okay. The goal here is not for you to make back all of the money that you've lost in your IRA or in your 401k by actively trading. The point here is to make money on the way down to offset some of those losses, but so you can take some of that profit and invest it into your 401k or your IRA. Because right now, let's say every American family has a budget, right? And with inflation as high as it is, your budget is getting squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter. So maybe right now you may only have a couple $100 that you can set aside every month that you can invest into your 401k or into your IRA while stocks are at lower prices than where they were. The point that I'm making is the opportunity is so great when markets move like this that you can make and earn extra income on the way down. And then you can take that money and now you have more investable capital that you can put into your long-term portfolio. So when the markets recover, and remember, 80% of the time since inception, the stock markets have gone up. Okay. Now, how quickly the stock markets go back up, whether it takes 6 months, a year, 2 years, or 4 years, however long that process takes, the idea is that after the markets recover and stocks move back to levels that they were at back in maybe November of last year or December of last year, you have more money invested than you did prior. That is where the opportunity lies. But a lot of people, when stocks go down, they panic and they sell close to the bottom. I think that we are closer to the bottom than we are right now to the top, which means I think that the majority of the move to the downside has already happened. I still think we have more room to the downside, but the bulk of the downside, I think, in my opinion, has already happened. So you're closer, you're more than halfway there. If the S&P is down 20%, 18, 19%, I don't see the S&P going down 40 or 45%. So I think we're well more than half of our way down, and you've got to start at this point, which is what I'm doing, looking for those opportunities for the long-term portfolio, and you got to start getting that shopping list ready.
Okay. So based on this, I have some questions for you. Okay. So I can't find what the number is this year, right? For 2022. I don't think it's out yet, and I can't find it for 2021. But let's talk about 2020, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm going to talk about for 2020 is the median household income for 2020. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Is $67,521 according to census.gov. All right. Mm-hmm. My question is that while that is not a terrible living, that there's a lot of people that live off far less, right? You are not in the 1% if you are making $67,000 or $68,000 a year. Okay. So a lot of people that are making that kind of money, it's not an easy thing for them if they have a 401k or if they have an IRA account or something like that. It's not going to be an easy thing for them to just be like, okay, well, now I'm going to, spend on, $1,100 or $1,200 on something like your trading group. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take that money. I'm going to, start learning how to day trade. Where's the money coming from? So my question here is that let's pretend for a second that I'm making less than $100,000 a year, less than $75,000 a year. I'm down 50% of my IRA. I maybe have $5,000 in savings. Should I, my head, listening to you, and I don't know if I'm right or not, but listening to, and I know you're not a financial advisor. We're not here to tell people what to do with their IRAs or their 401ks, right? I'm saying when I listen to you, what I'm hearing is, well, my first thought, and it could be wrong, is, hey, you know what? I should probably go ahead and maybe sell half of my 401k or take the penalty if there is one, sell it so I can get some cash so that I don't have to beg, borrow, steal, and scrape, so that I can not join True Trading Group, forget about that, but just have, the ability to participate in this market instead of maybe depleting a savings account or something else. And then even thinking that way and talking to you about it right now, it makes me anxious because I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of those people. And it's got to be frustrating for a lot of people too, because I think a lot of people understand the fact that that trading within the stock market the right way is a way out from the grind of 9 to 5 and living on a fixed income and things like that, right? But having the ability to do it, what do you tell someone right now that because let's not mince words here. It's very tough to be in the position right now where you are making less than $70,000 a year and you have minimal savings and your 401k is down 50%. Pretend it was you. Let me do that. Pretend it was you. Pretend that you make 70 grand a year or less. You are down 50% in your 401k. What do you do? Give us the plan that you would do to work your way out of that hole.
So I would take a very, close look at what is in my IRA. And I guess your question to me is not like, what do you do? Like, as far as like setting money aside for, to join a program, you're just saying like, what do I do if my IRA is already down and I'm,
what I'm saying is that you come on here, you're energetic, we love you, everyone loves you, you're very intelligent about what it is that you say. My question to you is, put yourself in the shoes of those people. And then tell me how you work your way out of that and get involved into this if you are in that situation.
I know there's a lot of people that are in that situation too. I think that what people have to realize is that how they found themselves in that situation is, for the most part, lack of understanding of the shift in markets and the stocks that are going to perform in 2021 versus the stocks that are going to underperform the most in 2022. Once you went into like a rising interest rate environment, a lot of people just don't understand the macro view, and they don't understand how cyclical things are in the market when certain sectors or certain types of stocks will do well in some environments versus then other stocks will tend to do well in others. It's not just the same type of stock that just does well in every single economic environment that you can possibly have. And I think what a lot of people need to realize is that trying to go about it on their own, trying to just go on Reddit or Twitter is what got them in the position that they're in today in the first place by chasing, chasing meme stocks or chasing like the ARK stocks and like the Zoom videos and the Pelotons and the Robinhoods and the Coinbases and the GameStops and AMCs and the Bed Bath and Beyonds and the Wishes and the Rides and the Nicolas and the Virgin Galactics of the world. All of those stocks are stocks that are down between 70 and 90% this year. Those are the exact opposite of the type of stocks that are going to perform well in a rising interest rate environment where monetary policy is tightening and the economy is beginning to slow. Not having an understanding of the bigger picture is what got a lot of people into that situation in the first place, by not selling when they should have, because they listen to people on social media that just go, oh no, hodl to the moon. Like, and they're like, man, I was up 300%. I probably should have sold some. Now I'm down 50%. Like, no, it doesn't pay to hodl to the moon. In certain environments, you can do stuff like that, but not in this environment. That's not the type of environment that we are in. And getting that education and getting that knowledge and maybe having some guidance from people that have been doing this for a very long time would be helpful. And you have to look at it as you're making an investment in your future in understanding what these opportunities are, what they look like, and how you can take advantage of them so that you don't make the same mistakes. It's not people's fault. Like if you're a police officer or you're a teacher or you're an accountant or you're a bakery owner or whatever it is that you do for a living, your job and your profession and your expertise is not in the market. So understanding and learning what's going on is going to be helpful to help you make those decisions and not make the same mistakes that got you in the positions that you're in today. I think at some point you just have to say, like, I made mistakes. I don't ever want to make those mistakes ever again, and make a decision to invest in yourself. That's what you're doing. I would rather have $500 to trade with and have an education than have $50,000 to trade with no education. Because it doesn't matter how much money you have in a trading account. You can have $5 million in a trading account. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose all 5 million of it anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, just because you have more money doesn't mean that your chances of success are higher. It just means that's more money you could potentially lose. So I'd rather have a couple $100 and an education than $1 million and no education. A lot of members, it's a very common misconception that you need like tens of thousands of dollars to get yourself started in the markets. It's not true. There's so many members into trading group that started with a few $100 and they've turned that few hundred into 4-figure and some even 5-figure accounts. The point is that it's possible. You're seeing members that are doing it. And me personally, I'd rather have an education and a small amount of money than no education and just a boatload of capital, because I would feel that without the education, you're going to lose it all just the same.
All right, fair enough. That was a good answer, dude. All right, moving on. Let's switch gears for a second. There was a lot of people. Also, real quick, we have almost 1,300 people on here. If you guys like what we're doing, because it's a little bit different tonight, smash that like button. Let's get us up to 1,000 likes. It really, really helps us out with the YouTube algorithms. Also, click the share button. Share this live stream to as many people as you can. All of that really helps. If you like what we're doing on here, please go ahead, like, share, and also subscribe if you have not yet subscribed to the channel. All right. Well, I got one last tough question.
Okay.
It is a lot of. Would you say that it is a lot of pressure? You and the other mods at True Trading. We have 8 other mods. They all trade different styles and different things. But would you say that it can be a lot of pressure when it comes time for you to make a trade inside a chat? That's not the tough question. That's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay. And I would assume that you feel the pressure because you it's a lot of responsibility. Not that you're telling people to follow you and follow the trade, but you know that people do.
Right.
Okay. And obviously you want to make sure that they're getting the best chance possible, right? So I would assume that that's why you feel that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I
yeah, okay,
feel...
cool. Hang on, that ain't it. I'm getting there. Every time you come on these live streams, and I don't want a whole spiel about, you know, this is going to be good, guys. Trust me. Don't recite to me the same spiel about how transparent we are to Trading Group, and we have a journal of all of our trades, and everyone knows that. Okay, if you've been on this live stream for a minute, you know that we say it every night, and it's the truth. But here's what I want to know. I know you. You're my best friend. I'm going to be the best man at your wedding, and I know you. And just like you know that I can be a massive a-hole, and at times you have called me out at being a massive a-hole, and I've called you out on having an ego. My question to you is that today, for example, somebody in chat questioned a trade on one of the mods. The trades the trade that he questioned, what we do inside a True Trading Group is we encourage you, if you don't agree with something, okay? If you don't agree with a trade, if you don't agree with a position, you are more than welcome to say something, because Mike is a human being just like all the other moderators are human beings, okay? They are never going to be right 100% of the time. They don't pretend to be. But today we had one of our members go ahead, and he had his delivery on how he presented this challenge was off. But some of the points he made were correct, which is a shame, because the fact that he was a jerk about it undershadowed any validity that he had. My question to you is, how, it's got to be tough coming on here and showing clips of your massive wins and predicting the market like you're Miss Cleo. It's got to be tough when things go the opposite direction. And I want to know for you, without giving me the same rhetoric, I want to know from you, how do you handle that, and how would you encourage other members in True Trading Group to handle that? Because losses do happen, and when we win, we are very vocal, and when we lose, I think it's important to be vocal, but I think it's also important to not normalize losing. And by normalize, I mean like making people be okay with just losing all the time. I think at some point that's got to change, and you have to acknowledge the loss, see what was done, and then celebrate the wins so that people can see what you've done and learn from both. But I want to know, what is your best way that you handle that? How do you want the mods to handle that? And how do you want members to bring that stuff to your attention?
Yeah, so I guess the incident you're referring to wasn't one of my trades. It was one of the other moderators' trades, Chris. And I mean, listen, guys, I don't have any issue with anybody questioning or disagreeing with a mod or one of their trades or whatever the reason is. But what I do not like is the approach of this insanely condescending coming from a point of superiority, and like you're just masterful multi-billionaire trader that everything that you say is gospel and you're never wrong, and the person that just made that trade is a complete moron. That I will not tolerate. So I will, I don't come out and ever say to another trader that makes a losing trade or is wrong about something, I don't say you're a complete idiot. I'm not going to call Bill Ackman, who's a multi-billionaire hedge fund manager who lost $400 million on Netflix. I'm not going to call Mr. Ackman and say, you are a complete idiot. He's not an idiot. He's worth billions of dollars. He knows what he's doing, but he also makes mistakes, and he's also wrong. I will not tolerate people that act like they have never been wrong before and will talk down on somebody else that just made a losing trade. Disagreeing with someone's thought process or someone's reasoning or even someone's style is perfectly fine. You should learn from losing trades. Just because you don't agree with someone's reasoning doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. There's a lot of different trading styles that are out there. Somebody might enter a trade at one point versus somebody else might enter a trade at a completely different point. And that's not a matter of right or wrong. That's just a matter of what's your style and where are your entry points according to the style that you're implementing. One person who has one style might say you're doing this wrong, but another person who has another style says, no, you're doing it wrong. And the real answer is neither one of you are doing it wrong. Depends on the style of trading that you implement. And everyone's going to make losing trades. If you disagree with a trade or a reason behind a trade or an explanation that a moderator gives or that a member has, do not say, you're an idiot, that was stupid. Ask questions respectfully to understand why the person's doing what they're doing. What is it that you see? And if you disagree with it, provide your input constructively and say, okay, well, I think maybe this, this, and this, not, wow, I can't believe you just did that. That was really stupid. No, maybe say, hey, well, why did you do this instead of doing this? Can you maybe walk me through your thought process? And have a normal, civilized conversation with someone, understanding that everyone's going to make losing trades. I don't care who you are. You're not the world's greatest trader. So don't ever pretend like you are. Don't ever act superior to somebody else just because someone made a losing trade and you want to try to pretend like you knew the whole time that that wasn't going to happen and you're just this, oh my, no. You're the.
I can't say a-hole and then you actually say the word.
Sorry.
All right. We're not going to curse on here. It's a family show.